7 hidden signs you're dealing with a genuinely difficult woman and how to navigate it with empathy. We've all encountered difficult people at some point in our lives. Sometimes we don't realize the full depth of someone's challenging behavior until we've been around them for a while. While it can be emotionally exhausting, learning to recognize the signs of a genuinely difficult woman can give you the tools to deal with her in a way that fosters understanding and keeps your own emotional well-being intact. In this article, we'll not only identify the signs, but also dive into the psychology behind these behaviors to better understand where they stem from and how to navigate them with compassion. 1. Constant criticism and judgment. The need to feel superior. When you're in the presence of a genuinely difficult woman, one of the most immediate signs you may notice is her tendency to criticize everything and everyone around her. From your work, your ideas, your personal choices, to even the simplest tasks, nothing seems to be exempt from her scrutiny. This can feel overwhelming, especially if it's constant and never accompanied by praise or support. Psychological insight. At the core of this behavior often lies insecurity. A woman who is constantly critical may have internalized negative self-beliefs. She might try to elevate her own sense of self-worth by putting others down. According to psychologists, this is a defense mechanism that protects her fragile self-esteem. When someone feels small inside, they might seek to make others feel small to avoid confronting their own vulnerabilities. Criticism can also be an expression of unmet needs. When someone feels that their opinions are not valued or heard, they might resort to criticizing others to compensate for their feelings of inadequacy. Sometimes, the criticism is not about the person it's directed at, but more about the criticizer's unresolved struggles, how to handle it. Rather than reacting defensively or getting caught up in the negativity, approach the situation with emotional intelligence. Respond to criticism calmly and ask open-ended questions to understand the underlying reasons for her remarks. Gently remind her of your boundaries while reinforcing the importance of constructive feedback. If her criticism feels relentless, consider setting clear boundaries about how you expect to be treated. 2. Over-the-top need for control, fear of chaos and insecurity. A difficult woman may exhibit an overbearing need to control everything around her, people, situations, decisions, and even outcomes. Whether it's micromanaging a project, dictating every detail of an event, or imposing her will on others, her constant desire to control can create tension and resentment in relationships. Psychological insight. This need for control often stems from a place of fear and insecurity. When someone feels like their world is unpredictable or beyond their control, they will do anything they can to regain that sense of stability. Psychologists describe this as an anxiety-driven behavior. For someone who struggles with anxiety, the chaos of uncertainty can feel unbearable, so they try to impose their own structure onto the world around them. Additionally, someone who seeks control may have experienced a lack of control or stability in their past, which can contribute to their current behavior. Whether it's a difficult childhood or a challenging life event, the need to control may be an attempt to prevent future feelings of helplessness. How to handle it. It's important to acknowledge her need for control while also standing firm in your own autonomy. Engage in open communication, explaining the importance of mutual trust and collaboration. Gently suggest compromises where appropriate and encourage her to let go of small details that don't need micromanaging. By setting clear boundaries and expectations, you can help her realize that relinquishing control can lead to a healthier, more productive dynamic. 3. Manipulation and guilt tripping, using emotions to control others. Manipulation is a powerful tool in the hands of someone who wants to get what they want without directly asking for it. A difficult woman may use guilt, subtle threats, or emotional blackmail to control or influence those around her. She might make you feel responsible for her happiness, her problems, or even her emotional well-being. Psychological insight. Manipulative behavior often stems from an inability to express vulnerability in healthy ways. Instead of asking directly for what she wants or expressing her needs clearly, she might resort to guilt tripping or other manipulative tactics as a way of controlling the situation without having to be upfront. For someone who struggles with insecurity or emotional dysregulation, manipulating others can feel like a safer way to get what they need without feeling rejected or exposed. This behavior can also be rooted in childhood experiences where manipulation was used as a survival tactic. For example, if someone grew up in an environment where emotions were used to control or get attention, they may adopt these patterns as adults. How to handle it. Recognizing manipulation is key to protecting yourself from falling into her traps. When you sense manipulation, don't react emotionally. Instead, calmly state your feelings and assert your boundaries. Refuse to accept guilt or responsibility for things that are not yours to own. You can empathize with her struggles, but it's important to maintain your emotional autonomy and not allow her to manipulate you into feeling responsible for her happiness. 4. Always playing the victim, refusing to take responsibility. A woman who constantly plays the victim will rarely acknowledge her role in any situation. She may have a tendency to make everything about her, blaming others for her problems, or acting as though the world is always against her. This type of behavior can lead to frustration for those around her, who feel like they can never win or find a solution because she refuses to accept any fault. Psychological insight. This victim mentality can often stem from feelings of powerlessness or deep-rooted trauma. People who have experienced chronic victimization in their past may adopt this mindset as a survival mechanism. They may feel that the only way to gain attention, sympathy, or emotional support is to portray themselves as the victim. This behavior can also be a defense mechanism for avoiding feelings of shame or guilt about their own actions. How to handle it? It's important to recognize the victim mindset without enabling it. While it's essential to offer empathy and support, you must also encourage personal accountability. Gently prompt her to reflect on her actions and how they contribute to the situation at hand. Avoid getting drawn into endless cycles of blame and focus on finding solutions that acknowledge her feelings without reinforcing her victim narrative. 5. Emotional outbursts and instability, unpredictable reactions. Emotional outbursts can be another hallmark of a genuinely difficult woman. Whether it's an angry outburst, tears, or sudden withdrawal, her reactions may feel disproportionate to the situation. These emotional shifts can leave others feeling confused and drained, unsure of what might trigger the next outburst. Psychological insight. Emotional instability is often a result of unresolved trauma or heightened emotional sensitivity. A woman who is emotionally unstable may have difficulty regulating her emotions, which can lead to volatile reactions. This might be due to past trauma, mental health challenges, or an inability to process emotions in a healthy way. In some cases, these outbursts could also be a cry for help or attention, as she may not have learned how to express her needs constructively. How to handle it. When faced with emotional outbursts, try to remain calm and offer a safe space for her to express her feelings. Encourage healthy communication by offering her a chance to talk about what's going on without judgment. However, it's equally important to protect your own emotional well-being and avoid getting swept up in the chaos. If her emotional volatility is frequent, it may be necessary to have a direct conversation about the impact it has on your relationship. 6. Difficulty in maintaining healthy relationships, pushing people away. A difficult woman may have a history of strained relationships, whether personal or professional. Her behavior may make it hard for others to maintain lasting connections with her. From being overly defensive to not trusting others, her challenges with intimacy can create distance and prevent deep connections. Psychological insight. Difficulty forming and maintaining relationships is often linked to attachment issues. If someone has had insecure or disorganized attachments in childhood, they may struggle to form healthy adult relationships. This could result in behaviors like emotional withdrawal, distrust, or a tendency to push people away before they can be hurt. In some cases, the fear of being abandoned or rejected can cause a person to sabotage relationships unconsciously. How to handle it. If you find yourself in a relationship with someone who struggles to maintain healthy connections, approach the situation with empathy. Encourage her to explore her past and consider seeking professional help if necessary. By offering emotional support without enabling unhealthy behavior, you can help her work through her attachment issues while maintaining your own emotional boundaries. 7. Lack of empathy for others, emotional detachment. One of the most difficult traits to deal with is a complete lack of empathy. A difficult woman might struggle to understand or acknowledge how her actions affect others. She may appear cold, indifferent, or even dismissive of other people's feelings, which can make her difficult to be around. Psychological insight. A lack of empathy can stem from a variety of causes, including personality disorders, emotional trauma, or learned behavior from early childhood. People who struggle with empathy might have difficulty connecting with others on an emotional level, often viewing relationships in a transactional or self-serving way. In some cases, a lack of empathy may also be a defense mechanism to protect against emotional vulnerability. How to handle it. While it's hard to change someone else's emotional capacity, you can still foster a compassionate environment. Encourage her to reflect on her feelings and the impact of her actions on others. Modeling empathy in your own interactions can sometimes help others open up to the idea of considering different perspectives. However, it's crucial to protect your own emotional well-being and not allow her lack of empathy to affect your self-worth. Conclusion: empathy, boundaries, and emotional resilience. Dealing with a genuinely difficult woman can be emotionally draining, but understanding the psychology behind her behavior can provide valuable insights into how to navigate the relationship with more empathy and emotional resilience. While it may be challenging, Offering support and understanding without sacrificing your own well-being is essential. By setting clear boundaries, practicing emotional intelligence, and encouraging healthier communication, you can manage even the most difficult relationships. Remember, while you may not be able to change her behavior, you can choose how you respond. And sometimes that's the key to fostering healthier dynamics. If this article resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more in-depth psychological insights into relationships, personal development, and emotional intelligence.